David, it's good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, doing good, man. Nice to see you. I've been in Riyadh for about a week. It's a lovely place, lovely country. I'm having a great time.
A few days till fight night now. You're known as the monster. He's known as the lion. Is that how it's going to be in the ring?
It's gonna be the monster taking out the lion, if that's what it wants to be. I'm very excited for this. I know he comes in ready. He's really prepared for this, but that excites me, man. Like I said, I want to give the fans a great fight. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
What does being a monster mean to you?
Just beating the shit out of everybody, basically. Is it okay if I say that? Yeah, just beating the shit out of everybody, making sure I'm dominant, and just tackling every fighter that comes against me. Just making sure that I'm the best in my division.
Anthony keeps saying it's going to be a shootout. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like for me, I'm the more intelligent fighter. I feel like I'm on a different level than Anthony Yarde. I've showed that I'm on a higher pedigree, but I know Anthony Yarde is going to come in here. He's gonna try to throw some big shots. He's going to try to rattle me up. But at the end of the day, I'm the more intelligent fighter. And if he wants to shoot out, we could do a shootout. At the end of the day, this is what I'm here for. That does not scare me or intimidate me in any type of way. This is the type of fight I want. I want a great fight. I want a hard fight. And I want to show the fans that I am the best in this weight division.
That's what I was going to say. A shootout means it could be anyone's at any time in the fight. You feel you have more skill than
Yeah, I
Anthony.
don't think it's going to be. I mean, he could say it's going to be a shootout, but I'm a more intelligent fighter. I'm going to go in there. Obviously, I'm not going to be dumb. I'm going to follow my game plan, and I'm going to be intelligent with the shot selections I make. So it's definitely going to be a game of chess, but it's going to be a high volume game of chess.
This is Anthony's third world title shot, first two unsuccessful. Do you think that makes him more dangerous, or is there a reason he's been unsuccessful at this level?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's a good mix of both. It makes him more dangerous because this might be the last time he gets an attempt at a title shot. But nonetheless, he's lost both the world title shots he's had, and he's got knocked out in both of them. You know what I mean? So I know he's gonna be. I know he's came in really prepared, but I gave him the respect he deserves. I've treated this fight like it's the hardest fight of my career. I've trained about 4 months and a half for this fight. I know what comes with this. So I'm ready for whatever Anthony Yarde brings my way. But I'm gonna make sure I'm as vicious. I'm as relentless as I always am in every fight.
Were you impressed at all by his performance against Beterbiev, or is the matter of fact he lost at the end of the day?
Yeah, I was impressed for a while it lasted. I was impressed that he was able to hurt Beterbiev, and I was impressed that he was able to hurt Kovalev as well. So I took in consideration the good stuff he does. I prepared for his big shots. I prepared for his counter shots. I know everything he does. I know his game plan in and out. I've been watching him a lot, so I'm ready for whatever he brings to the table. But from him, he did get stopped both of his fights, so I know there's a weakness in there.
Fair enough. I want to talk a bit about you. Of course, you made your debut at 16. What keeps that fire burning in you on these fight weeks to keep going and try and reach the top?
Just what keeps that fire going is me reaching the goal that I said I was going to reach. When I told myself when I was a little kid that I wanted to be the greatest of my era, the greatest of my generation. And, there's still a lot of work to be done to complete that, but the stepping stones have already been set. I was the youngest champion in super middleweight history at 20 years old. I don't think anybody would ever beat that. I'm three-time world champion at super middleweight. I've won three more interim belts. I have a belt at 175. So, that's what keeps the fire going in me. And also just the love I have for this sport. This is there. I've been boxing my whole life. I've been boxing since I was 3 years old, 25 years, and I have a passion so great for this sport that I don't want to do anything else. You know what I mean? I'd rather just dedicate myself for the next 15 years or however long I'm in the game and just continue to do what I love to do in the sport of boxing.
Nice. What would you say is the best thing about being David Benavidez?
The best thing about being David Benavidez is, just the love and respect I get from everybody outside the ring. It's just amazing that I had came to Dubai and everybody knew who I was. I came here to Riyadh, everybody knows who I was. So I'm a half a world away, from the United States. Everywhere I go now, everybody knows who I am. And they have a lot of respect for me. They say that they love the way I carry myself in and outside the boxing ring. So that's something I like about being myself, and also me just being the monster that I am in the ring. You know what I mean? It's like a flip of a switch. I could flip it. I'm the nice guy, and then I could turn into the monster whenever I want. So that's a pretty cool thing I like about being myself.
What about the hardest thing about being yourself?
The hardest thing is just it's not really it's just who I am. This life of boxing is hard. It's not meant for everybody. I wouldn't say that there's a hardest thing about being myself, but this is the thing I love about being myself as well, is how hard I could push and how hard I could dedicate myself to the sport of boxing. I train, I'm second to none when it comes to hard work. I've been training 4 months and a half. I push myself to the limit every single day. So that is, that's also another thing I'm proud of. I mean, also, I don't want to say there's anything hard about being myself. I just love working hard every single day.
This fight on Saturday, for yourself, do you feel like it's a chance to remind people what you're about, or to prove people what you're about, especially British fans? Are you out to prove something on Saturday?
Yeah, both. I'm here to prove that I'm the best in the world, and I'm here to remind everybody that I'm not going nowhere. And also, it's another opportunity for me to gain new fans, British fans that have never seen me box, but fans from Saudi Arabia that have never seen me box. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful to be here with Riyadh season, and tapping into another market of fans I've never seen who I am, because I guarantee you that first time they see me fight, they'll be hooked for the rest of their lives.
What do you think this fight means for your legacy?
This fight, it's the start of in my opinion, it's the start of my legacy, where all the big fights happen. Now that we're fighting with Riyadh season, this is basically the bridge to all the big fights. On the other side of this is Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, and hopefully maybe even a Canelo in the future. So but it all starts with today, with November 22nd. I've trained extremely hard for this. I'm going to put a great performance on, and then after this is going to be the start to my dominance in the light heavyweight division.
What do you want fans to feel when they watch you on Saturday night?
I just want them to be excited, you know what I mean? And I don't want them to be excited. They're going to be excited when they see me fight. Like I said, I am one of those throwback fighters that once I start fighting, that people are glued to the TV and they don't want to miss any second of it. And I just want to bring that excitement back to boxing and, give the fans the fights they want to see.
Nice. Lastly, if you just send a message to Anthony down the lens.
He knows what's coming from. I told him there's going to be a war. It's unfortunate he's going to have to go in there and sacrifice himself, because, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take his soul. That's exactly what I'm going to do.